All right, welcome to the explainer. So, a whole new generation of AI is here. It's called GPT-5, and it is a total game changer. But here's the thing, to really unlock what it can do, we have to learn a brand new way to talk to it. Okay, let's get into it. So, this is the central question, isn't it? We've all gotten pretty comfortable just typing a simple instruction and getting a simple answer back. But GPT-5, it isn't a simple tool. It's something else, something new. So how are we supposed to have a conversation with it? And this quote from the official guide really gets to the heart of it. Now, you might see a lot of words here, but I want you to focus on just two: agentic performance. I know it sounds super technical, right? But trust me, that phrase is the key to understanding everything that makes GPT-5 so different. Yeah, we're not just talking about a simple software update here. This is a huge shift in what AI is fundamentally capable of. We're moving away from an AI that's just a passive tool, one that just sits there waiting for your question, to an AI that's a collaborative agent that can actually get things done. So what do we even mean by agent? Well, here's the best way to think about it. Imagine you just hired a brilliant, super enthusiastic new intern. You wouldn't just give them one tiny task at a time, right? No, you'd give them a goal, a whole project, and they would have the smarts to figure out the steps, use different tools, and actually see the project through, all on their own. It's a partner, not just a processor. Okay, but here's the catch. This new agent, well, it's eager, like really eager. So the biggest challenge in working with GPT-5 is learning how to manage that proactivity, what the guide actually calls its agentic eagerness. You basically have to learn how to be a really good manager. And your prompt, the instruction you give it, that's your main control dial for this eagerness. On one side, you can keep it on a really tight leash. That's what you do when you need a fast, specific answer and you know exactly what you want. But on the other side, you can just let it run free. Give it the autonomy to chew on a complex problem until it's completely solved. So the key is choosing the right setting for the right task. And this is a fantastic example of how to dial that eagerness down. Just look at that phrase, even if it might not be fully correct. I mean, that sounds completely backward, doesn't it? But what you're doing is you're giving the AI an out. You're telling it, look, it's okay to not be perfect this time. I just need you to be fast. That's what stops it from overthinking and getting stuck. Now, if you're going to let this powerful AI agent work on its own, you've got to be able to trust it, right? And that is where something called tool preambles comes into play. It's essentially a way to get the AI to tell you its plan before it actually does anything, so you can see its logic and make sure it's on the right track. So a good prompt basically asks the agent to act like a great car mechanic. First, it confirms what you asked for. Okay, so you're here for the weird clanking noise. Got it. Then, it lays out the step-by-step plan. As it works, it tells you what it's doing, and when it's all done, it gives you a nice summary. That transparency is what builds the trust you need, especially for something as complex as coding. Let's look at an example. Speaking of which, one of the most incredible use cases for this new kind of AI is writing code. The AI code editor Cursor got to test GPT-5 early on, and their story really shows how much the old rules just don't apply anymore. So this is the kind of prompt that used to work perfectly with older models. You had to practically beg them to be thorough, to dig deep, to get all the possible context. But with GPT-5, this same instruction completely backfired. And the reason why is just fascinating. It turns out GPT-5 is already so incredibly good at understanding context that when you tell it to be extra thorough, you send it into a spiral of analysis paralysis. It gets stuck in a loop, rechecking things it already knows because the prompt told it to value understanding above everything else. So the Cursor team flipped their strategy. They softened the language, and, this is the crucial part, they added this line telling the AI to just trust itself. They empowered it, telling it, hey, you're smart. You can figure this out. Don't come running to the user for help unless you absolutely have to. The results? Way faster, way more efficient, and much better code. And for really massive tasks like building an entire application from scratch, there's this even more powerful technique called self-reflection. It's wild. You ask the AI to first define for itself what a world-class app even looks like, to create its own grading rubric. Then it builds the code and grades its own work. And if it's not an A+, it throws the code out and starts over, iterating internally until it creates something amazing. So let's zoom out from just coding for a minute and talk about the general art of conversation. Because GPT-5 follows your instructions with almost surgical precision, that precision can be a real double-edged sword. Any confusion, any ambiguity in your prompt becomes its greatest enemy. Just take a look at this example for a medical assistant bot. You see the problem? It says, always look up the patient first, but then in the next line, it says for emergencies, do something else before that step. Then, never schedule without consent, but then it says to auto-assign a slot for urgent cases. These are direct contradictions. A dumber AI might just guess, but GPT-5 gets paralyzed trying to solve this impossible logic puzzle.
The fix is all about being crystal clear and creating a hierarchy. You have to get rid of the contradictions. You need to create clean, simple if-then statements. Tell it exactly which rule wins in which situation. Once you provide that clear, logical set of instructions, the agent becomes incredibly reliable and effective.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds hard. Like you need a degree in logic to write a perfect prompt. So what do you do when your prompt just isn't working? Well, the guide gives us one final and honestly kind of mind-blowing technique.
It's called meta prompting. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. You use GPT-5 to help you fix your prompts for GPT-5. You are literally asking the AI to teach you how to communicate with it better. How wild is that? And this isn't just some abstract idea. Here's a literal template you can use. You just copy and paste your broken prompt. You explain, here's what I wanted you to do, and here's the weird thing you did instead. And then you ask it, what are the smallest edits I can make to fix this? It's like having the AI as your own personal prompt writing coach.
And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. We started by just typing commands into a black box. Then we moved to having conversations. And now we are co-developing the very language of our collaboration with the AI itself. So if the AI can help us get better at talking to it, what does that open up? What's the next great frontier for how we work and create and solve problems together? That, I think, is the real question that GPT-5 is asking all of us.